That's right, you guys. It is over. God Valley is coming to a close. Or is it? Welcome in, everybody. We got One Piece chapter 1161. The full spoilers have just dropped. If you have not read them for yourself, though, yet, make sure to check them out down below in the pinned comment. It will be sourced, typed out piece by piece, all that good stuff, so you can check it out there and get out of here if all you're here for are the spoilers. Because today, we're here to sit down, have a chat, and have some fun talking about this upcoming chapter. So, getting right back into it, Roger and his crew have successfully rescued Shakky by the end of this chapter. And Roger says, hey guys, it's time. Get the treasure, bring it onto the ship, and let's get the hell out of here. Roger's declaring that he wants to leave ASAP. But, jokes aside, we all know that's not going to happen. We all know that something keeps Roger here. Because, throughout the spoilers, Roger has not yet interacted with the Rocks Pirates, minus Whitebeard. He hasn't interacted with Garp, and he hasn't even said anything about the Celestial Dragons yet either. So, I do think that something will entice Roger to stay. Maybe he sees Rocks Syvduck and he sees his qualm with his family, and then he ends up going after him. Maybe he wants to assist him. We're not too sure yet. But just because Roger wants to leave the island by the end of this chapter, that does not mean that come 1162, he's going to be gone, right? I highly doubt that's the case because, like I said, we have not gotten a Davy Syvduck and Roger confrontation yet, and we know that happens because of the Kuma flashback. So yes, until we get that, I do not think Roger can leave so simply. And of course, Shanks. He has still not ended up in the treasure chest, which I guess is a good way to get into the chapter. So, first things first, we see Dragon. He's running away with baby Shanks and Shamrock, but that is when he gets hit in the shoulder by a laser beam. It is shot by a new Knight of God, the one we saw last chapter. Her name is Maffey. She is the big, tall woman, big tatas. I don't know why, that's always my go-to descriptor of her. She has the cigarette in her mouth and, of course, the shades on as well. She can shoot laser beams out of her mouth like a pacifista. Why is she able to do this? Vegapunk has not yet entered the picture. Kizaru has not yet eaten his devil fruit, I think? I could be wrong about that. We don't have the timeline of when he ate it or when he didn't eat it. But either way, she should not have that technology yet. So what is going on here? Is this the work of the Beam no Mi, the Laser no Mi? Or is this perhaps some sort of demonic transformation? Which I'm really hesitant to say because I've never heard of a demon or any mythical creature shooting out laser beams from their mouths. So yeah, that one is still up in the air. Oh, voice crack. That one is still up in the air. So you guys let me know, why is she able to shoot laser beams out? So she says that the reason why she's here is because the Celestial Dragon baby caretaker instructed her to go after the babies, because if Garling finds out that his kids went missing under their watch, even though they're Celestial Dragon as well, they would straight up just execute them, which does make sense. If somebody, a caretaker, lost my kids, I'm not saying I'd execute them, but I wouldn't exactly be a happy camper, right? So yes, Maffey is tasked with finding them, and find them she did. Unfortunately, though, before she could end Dragon's life, Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom enter the picture, and Whitebeard unintentionally saves Dragon. They're simply just marching forward through the island, and Maffey, the Knight of God, was just simply in their way. From the sound of it, Whitebeard cut her down without even knowing who the hell she is. Whitebeard is just that guy. So, Knights of God in this chapter, not looking too good. Of course, they are still regenerating, as we said yesterday, but in the optics game, you know, regeneration can only carry you so far, in my opinion. So we see Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom. They are currently surrounded by a bunch of Rocks Pirate members. I was kind of wondering why the Rocks Pirates were betraying each other on this island. I thought maybe the Celestial Dragons were paying them off. Turns out that is not the case. Instead, the Rocks Pirates members that are mutineers now, the reason why they're fighting back is because they simply want to make a name for themselves on this island. If they were to take down Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, or even Rocks Syvduck himself, they will become infamous pirates guaranteed. Kind of silly. It's like one of those things where you don't know your place. It reminds me of back in Wano, where we had the Beast Pirates and the All-Stars all gathered together, and Queen was like, hey, Tobiropo, if you find Yamato and bring her back, then you'll have the chance to challenge me for my spot. That makes sense, because guess what? Tobiropo members would challenge Queen. Here, it's like, okay, we have Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, and then we have nameless fodder. They don't stand a single chance, but of course, I guess I can't hate them for the ambition. So, of course, they all get demolished because they're nobodies, and we get a double spread of Kaido, Big Mom, and Whitebeard doing a combined attack. Pretty cool stuff. I related this to the legendary Sannin out of Naruto. Like, oh, you know, at one point, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade, they all worked really well together in the past. That's kind of the vibes I'm getting from this right here. Hey, what's up, you guys? So, I'm currently editing this video, and I realized that throughout the course of this, I keep on omitting Shiki. I don't know why. It's like one of those phantom things, like you don't realize it happened until it's too late. So whenever I talk about Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido, just pretend like I also said Shiki too. Thank you. So we go on and we see that they have now ran into Garp, and of course Garp is simply him. Whitebeard and Big Mom do not want to fight him right here because he will just soak up too much time, but before they part, Big Mom does try to land a blow on him. She combines Zeus and Prometheus into a heavenly fire attack, a brand new named attack from Big Mom. She lands it on Garp, but of course, Garp, like I said, is him, and he tanks the freaking blow. He actually hits her with a nice one-liner. According to Redon, Garp says, that's not even enough to roast a prime riblinlin. Pretty crazy stuff. Also, we have confirmation here that Zeus was at God Valley. I don't know if we had that before. I haven't gone back to check. But, brother, is it possible that the Straw Hats could just sit down with Zeus and say, hey, Zeus, you were there. What happened? Imagine that, right? Loki gives us half of God Valley, and then we imagine the other half is going to be from Garp or Blackbeard or, somebody else on the island. But no. The other person who gives us the God Valley flashback could just be Zeus. Hey, Zeus, you were there, right? Yeah, I was. We fought Garp, and, I saw rocks, and I know all this. Dude, Zeus, man, we got to sit his ass down and ask him some questions. So, after we see the Garp and Rock's pirate interaction, we cut over and we see Rox, the captain himself, and he is currently running to the center of God Valley to save his family. He's currently thinking about his son and wife, and we do get a wife name drop reveal. Her name is apparently Ellis, E-L-L-I-S. Pretty cool stuff. I feel like when we get other translations that might be skewered a little bit, but yeah, Ellis is her current name. We cut back and we see the Roger Pirates, and they're going all out, right? They're trying their best to save Shakky. Shakky herself has just escaped from captivity. She has managed to kick down all the guards, even though she's in chains. But that is when the GOAT, Saint Sommers, appears, and he ends up beating her and stopping her with his thorn club. Sommers is prepared to kill Shakky because he knows that Garling is going to get her at the end of the day, which is pretty absurd, right? Not a team player here. Oh, I'm going to lose, so I might as well just get rid of the prize. Come on, Sommers. That's a little bit nasty, brother. So, he is preparing to kill her, like I said, but that is when Rayleigh shows up. And in a double spread, he defeats Sommers with a single blow, and he uses a brand new attack called Higanbana, which is pronounced the same as Red Spider Lily, as stated by Redon, and the English translation should be Bill Hook of the Beyond. And not only that, but we see that the attack puts Rayleigh in a very similar pose to Zoro's Onigiri attack. The parallels, man! The parallels do not stop with Oda. Whenever you think he's done, he says one more parallel for you guys. Here you go. So yes, Sommers has now been dealt with. Of course, kind of like the Knight of God Maffey from the beginning of the chapter. He's not dead, which, we know that because he's an Elbath, but he's simply just regenerating. I do wonder if on this island, the characters will start to realize that these guys are immortal, because I don't think they've actually mentioned anything about that yet. We haven't had a character say, hey, wait a minute, why are my attacks not working? Why does this guy just keep on getting up? Because for me, at least, maybe I'm just a normie, but if I shot somebody and then their bullet holes started regenerating, I'd be like, whoa, what the hell? Even in the world of One Piece, that sounds absurd. Maybe they just haven't paid attention yet, but yeah, eventually they're gonna realize that these Knights of God just keep on getting back up. I want to see them realize that they need to do something else to actually wound these guys, right? Because one way or another, Scopper does figure out that the way to hurt them is through Mastered Advanced Conquers Haki. So I do want to see who comes to that realization first. Is it Scopper? Is it Rayleigh? Is it Roger? Or do they already know about this somehow? So Rayleigh says, Shakky, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here to get you. And we see that Rayleigh offers his hand to Shakky. She takes it. Everybody's crying. Even Roger and Gabon are crying. They're crying because they're happy, but also because they're partially jealous as well. But we did hear earlier on in the chapter that Roger helped clear the way for Rayleigh. And not just that, but Roger wanted Rayleigh to actually save Shakky. So, you know, even though they want her, they know that at the end of the day, Shakky's heart does belong to Ray-san. Shakky is also crying in this moment. She says, I was so scared. And Rayleigh says, I will never, ... I'm assuming he's going to say, I'll never leave you alone again. But of course, Roger and Gabon, they cut in. They say, hey, Rayleigh, do it later, man. Now's not the time. And that right there is where the chapter ends. Roger simply says, boys, we have Shakky. Let's take the treasure and let's get out of this place. And all the Roger pirates cheer at that notion. End of the chapter, no break next week. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, God Valley is not over. Even though they want to leave, we know something's gonna pull them back in. If I had to guess what happens, I would say it has to do with Rocks. Like maybe Roger gets really curious as to why Rocks is here. Right, because when it comes to the Rocks pirates and how they want to save Shakky, they might try to fight Roger for her, but Shakky will simply be like, hey guys, can we fight later? Like, let's just get off the island. Like, I don't think Shiki's gonna try to run the fade with the Roger pirates and try to kidnap Shakky. Like, I do think that at the end of the day, as long as Shakky is safe and off this island and away from the Celestial Dragons, it's a win across the board. So I don't think they're gonna fight for her anymore. I think it's going to switch over to the Celestial Dragons. Could be wrong, could be wrong. Another thing that I think could happen is that Emu could show up, and Roger, kind of like how he was curious about Odin, he could just rush over and say, hey, actually, wait a minute, guys, I sense some crazy hockey. Let me go check that out real quick. And then, of course, another plotline we do have to progress is Dragon, right? Dragon currently has Shanks. Maffey, the Knight of God from earlier, she took Shamrock. So somehow, some way, Dragon does have to put Shanks in the treasure chest before Roger leaves the island as well. What's kind of funny is that it looks like Oda really goes into the whole Shanks hitting his head angle like Goku. Because Shanks hits his head, and at first I thought it was just gonna be like a little bump, like, oh, he hit his head, he's crying maybe. But no. Shanks hit his head so hard when he fell that he actually lost consciousness. So yeah, Shanks is currently out of commission. I don't know where they're going with that one. I do think it's just like a nice, fun little Dragon Ball reference. Like, hey, one baby hit his head, the other one did not hit their head. Look at how they ended up now. Overall, a lot of good stuff. I think we are still missing a lot of interactions from this chapter. Like, we do not have a Garp and Roger interaction. We don't have the Garp and Rocks interaction yet. There's still a lot of people here who have not said a single word to each other yet. So, yes, even though it looks like Oda's trying to speedrun this, I think it's not going to work. I do think we will be here for the next, like, 4 to 5 chapters. And hey, I'm all about it. I love God Valley, brother. But that is just my humble opinion. Let me know what you guys think about all of this down below. Make sure to comment, theorize, and all that good stuff, because in the next couple of days, we will be coming back and reading through the comment section. So until then, y'all, you guys take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you later, brothers. Peace out.